Sorry, the feed got cut, but it's all good. I'm back. So we have to really, so when I saw that things that was going on with the Revolt channel, I was like, how can I sell this to people? How can I put this in home? And also another thing I observed, because before I worked at Time Warner Cable, I did not own cable for about, I didn't have a TV for about 10 years prior to that. And when I did get it, and then I was allowing my daughter to watch certain programs on Disney and Nick, I noticed her behavior patterns started changing. And then that Revolt incident. So it all, came into place. And I was like, my conscience would not allow me to work for an organization like that. You know what I mean? So everything happens for a reason at the time that they happened. And I'm glad that it happened the way that it did, because now my children have me fully in their life. Like it's sad that women have to pay someone else to take care of their child so they could work and earn a living. Like, why can't women, that could be the woman's job, if anything. Why do we have to pay an external person to watch our own children or to teach our own children if we're capable of doing it ourselves? So these things we really got to look into. But I mean, this year homeschooling is really fun, because the way our approach is to it is, I like whatever it is that they like, I use that to teach other topics and subjects. Like, for instance, my daughter loves cooking. So I'm using cooking, and she's only 7. She's learning fractions. She's learning about ingredients. She's learning about simple carbs, complex carbs, and, all ins and out, what is nutritious and what isn't. And these are the type of discussions we have. I didn't have discussions like this in school. They didn't blend everything into me where it made sense of what was going on. And we discussed real life topics at the same time, and how it affects us individually and collectively. Like, we didn't have dialogues like that in school. Everything in school was just so, and then look at the foods that they're feeding the children. Like, right now in the school system out here where I live, they give kids a lot of sodium, carbohydrates. There's bad carbs, not even the good ones. And it's just a lot of salt, and salt makes children hyper. So, and then they don't give them recreation. They expect them to sit behind a desk for so many hours, but there's no like interaction with nature or none of that. That doesn't make any sense for me. Me and my kids, we go out, we pick crystals from the backyard. We go out and do other things, go to the arboretum, we write, we do other things. You have more freedom and leeway than you do with in the classroom. And that's why I didn't want to be a teacher, because being a teacher in a public school system, it was very restrictive where I came from. And you could not do what you really wanted to do at the end of the day. So I'm using this opportunity to get them, and hopefully, if everything goes well, he will be graduating way before time. And not that I'm pushing his graduation or anything like that. It's just at his level of growth and development. And the cool thing about homeschooling is, once a child learns something, you can move on to the next topic. You don't have to sit there and wait for a whole group of classroom of students with a lot of different issues that you don't really understand or know to catch on to it, because things change day to day. I know what's going on in my kids' lives day to day, so I know how to address it. But when you're in a classroom full of students, you have people all over from different environments. Some just came home, they didn't even eat all night. Some didn't have, there's a lot of different issues. And another thing I wanted to touch on is like this whole Kanika story. Like, a lot of people are, oh, it's real, it's fake, it's real, it's fake. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Do you know where your children are? Do you know the people in your village? Do you know the people in your neighborhood? That's what really counts at the end of the day. A lot of times people are not trying to see the bigger picture. They get so caught up in like media hype and people. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's not factual, but they're still doing it, right? So that makes your mind think, why is this being done? What message is being sent here? Why am I watching this? Like, why? What are they trying to convey to me? And and a lot of things that they do on YouTube to like show you what's really going on doesn't always help you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because if you're not showing a person, okay, this is being done for this purpose and we need to start moving in this direction, and what's the purpose of you doing it? Why are you putting out YouTubes to discredit everything in the system, but you're not putting up anything that's going to rebuild it or to correct those problems that's currently taking place? And people really need to start looking things from a larger picture. Like, imagine if you had to run an entire country. Like, I understand, like, I didn't understand. I just hated it because of what negative people did with the media. But I also see the benefits of it, because like when we do discussions and have talks like this, the problem comes in when people try to overly control what's going out. And sometimes those people don't have the people's best interests at heart. So in those type of situations, you do have to be leery, like Disney and Nickelodeon and stuff like that. Like, if you see patterns of certain things, like every Disney child, when they go through that, then next thing you know, they're on this promiscuous, that is telling you something. Then those things, but see, Sesame Street didn't have that effect. So it's all media is not bad. It's the people that's controlling it, what I'm saying, that their intents might not be all the way 100. But I just want to tell you, those that are in the light, and we know that some of this stuff is fake and all the stuff is going on, instead of pointing out the fakeness in the stories, point out like the issues that we need to address from them. What issues is this bringing to light that we really need to focus on? Don't focus so much on, oh, that's fake news and that's real news. Because you'll get real frustrated and not want to pay attention to anything. You'll be totally desensitized to everything that's going on. Instead, when those stories come out, focus on those issues and build with the people in your community on those particular issues. I promise you'll get further. Everybody know the Rodney King story and everything. Oh, where did lighting come from? If it was that dark on the freeway in that time era, where did the lighting come from? Okay, we get that. But what was the biggest story? Police brutality, something that we need to focus on. Even though it's not rampant and all over the place, it's happening. And the fact that it's happening, somebody has to blow a whistle on it. And they felt like that was the best way that they could do it. So you can't fault some of these fake news stories. What they're like, if you know that the person's intent is to bring awareness to something. Now, if you got stories where it's like forcing you to go to war, then that's when you start breaking down all of the charts and everything else and zooming in and stuff like that. When it's stuff that's not bringing out people's highest good, focus on that, and focus on the things that are bringing out people's highest good, because we don't tend to do that, and so like conscious people, light workers, you got to be more conscious of what you're doing. Because if you're not helping, like telling somebody get away from religion is not always the answer. You know how many people I met that it was due to their belief in their religious system that's the reason why a lot of people are still alive on this planet? Let certain people have their religion. It's okay. They can have their religion. Let them have that. You don't have to, just because you see, you don't got to go around ripping shades and glasses and the eyelids off of everybody. Allow people to grow in the same process you got. Spoon feed people if need be, but too much information is sometimes is bad, because you're going to tear down a system that doesn't totally have to be teared. Basically, the system is not as bad as the people that's running it and enforcing certain things. You know what I mean? Like, having structure in an environment is not a bad thing. It's the over abuse of power that creates the issues that we have. So we need to start having these solutionary think tanks and start discussing these things. Like I'm about to we're gonna schedule some Blog Talk Radio shows because where you can call in and I'm gonna put that information up and let you know when our next show date is and time. But we need to start having more issues. Like we need to unearth the truth on things that's gonna benefit us, not things that's gonna send us back further than where we were. Yeah, but that's all I gotta say right now on this topic. But it was it started off based on that little girl. Like our children are our future. How we teach them is how the world will be. So if we don't teach them that same racist crap that their parents were taught, guess what? They won't be like that. Kids naturally have an affinity for whatever it is that they like until we tell them something's wrong with it. So let them watch them at play. Stop trying to dictate how they should be and let them show you how you should be. That's the type of heart we need to have, that loving, caring, engaging heart. That compassion, having forgiveness and all those things. But, we getting there. You can feel the level of peace on this planet. It's not as chaotic as it was like last year and a few months ago. Things are starting to balance out and feel more positive. And that's because people, everything is really controlled by the minds of the people. So once you understand that, once you learn to control your mind, you'll see that a lot of things in your life, you won't have a problem. You won't have issues with those things. All right. Peace and love and light and healing wishes to you all. But I'm about to finish. I finished my rant for the day. I feel better now. All right. See you.